Hello everyone, we are Group 3. I'm Lee Kachin David. We will present the Shatin-Central link project, and this is a presentation flow for today. We will start with the background and all the way to the solution to risk. And first, we start at the background. The Shatin-Central link, SCL for short, this project has been proposed in the Railway Development Strategy 2000 by the Transport Bureau. The SCL provides a new cross-harbour option and it connects the East New Territories and Hong Kong Island. The SCL project is funded by the Hong Kong government. The construction project started in 2012. The SCL project will be separated into two phases, which is the Hong Kong to MOT section and Tai Wai to Hong Kong sections. The most important of our project is why we are doing this project and what do we want to achieve. And there are three main objectives for this project. First, as the high demand of cross-harbour tunnel between the Hong Kong Island and Kowloon, it is creating traffic jam and lead to the economic loss and wasting time. To relieve the situation, this project is needed. Second, the project can also provide the additional railway service to strategic growth area for housing and economic development. Third, to increase the share of railway in the overall transport system to reduce the reliance on road-based transport. And for the short-term goals, the section between the Kowloon Tong and Tai Wai station of the East Rail Line is very busy. Passengers from the Mount Shan district and New Territories need to pass through the Tai Wai station, while more passengers can only interchange at Kowloon stations. And therefore, the SL would be able to relieve the bottlenecks in the East Rail Line and the cross-harbour section of the Tsuen Wan Line. And the project connects the location that lack of convenient public transport, including the Ho Man Tin, To Kwa Wan, and Ma To Wai area. And for the long-term goals, trains are using electricity and no emission will be released in the urban area. In addition, with higher accessibility and affordable fare, people may tend to choose railway rather than driving. Therefore, with fewer reliance on road-based transport, less noise and air pollution will be produced. The high visibility railway could help to relieve the crowded situation in the interchange stations. Therefore, the SCL project could contribute in environmental, health, and safety perspective. And one more thing is the social and economic benefits. The SCL project is estimated to carry 1 million passengers per day, which could bring 4.1 billion Hong Kong dollars revenue per year, including the economic benefits by saving time. The SCL can also generate employment opportunities during the construction and operations. And let's talk about the scope of the project. At the beginning, the SCL project has two options on routing: exhibition or MOT options, and Victoria Park options. The exhibition option is bound for Central, Fire Exhibition, and MOT stations. However, the Victoria Park option is via Victoria Park, Leighton Hill, and Wan Chai South. Finally, the SCL project adopted the exhibition options. And the current project has been separated into two phases, total length 17 km. For Tai Wai to Hong Kong sections, Mount Shan Line will be extended from Tai Wai to Hong Kong station and connect the West Rail Line and become the Tsuen Wan Line. And the Hong Kong to MOT section is extending the East Rail Line from Hong Kong to MOT station across the Victoria Harbour. And that's all of my part, and I will pass my time to Herman for the following part.
Thank you, David, and I'm Herman. About the specific target of time and cost. In 2008, the Hong Kong government approved the planning and design of the Shatin-Central link. On 2010, the Railway Scheme Gazette has been published to inform the public. On 2012, the funding for the SCL project has been approved and the construction has commenced in the same year and expected to be complete in 2022. The SCL Phase 1 consists of poor construction quality at the Hong Kong station, lead to the delayed commencement of the SCL project. The Tsuen Wan line has been split into two phases. Regarding the cost, simply estimated, the maximum cost would be 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. For the time constraint, in 2014, previous historical realists have been found in the To Kwa Wan station construction sites. The MTR immediately stopped the construction work at that station and makes a detailed survey for advanced route planning and protection measures. The above action delayed the Taiwan to Hong Kong session for 11 months. Second, there were construction difficulties in 2015. The geology near the Lion Rock Tunnel section is complicated. Therefore, the MTL company is required to apply different measures and additional protection methods to solve the problem. In 2018, it was discovered 8 out of 10 stations of the SCL exceed the settlement level standard. The MTL immediately stopped the construction and made further research and planning to ensure the settlement event will not influence other buildings and road conditions. With regard to the cost, the MTL estimated that the construction cost increased from 70.8 billion to 97.1 billion Hong Kong dollars, as the construction process and commencement date were delayed. The first reason would be a series of construction difficulties mentioned in the previous slide. Second, the COVID-19 and other accidents affect the process of the project significantly. Let's move to discuss the social concern. Construction brings inconvenience to the society. The East Rail Line is one of the busiest sections of the MTL, as it connects the people between Kowloon and New Territories. It's now extending to the Hong Kong Island, where there is space limitation, so 12-car trains will be reordered into 9-car trains. Obviously, this will lead to more crowd in some interchanging stations, such as Hong Kong, Kowloon Tong, and Tai Wai. Although MTL proposed that the frequency of the train would be split up from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, it's not guaranteed. Besides, there would be some economic concern. In 2012, the Hong Kong government estimated the cost to complete the SCL project is 79.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. However, it has already become the second most expensive railway globally. MTL explained that the cost increase is because of inflation. In 2020, the estimated cost became 81.6 billion Hong Kong dollars. If the SCL project exceeds the budget again, it's hard to convince the general public and government for further construction capital. With respect to the legal concern, MTL needs to maintain the safety and ensure the construction meets the legal requirement. For example, MTL needs to monitor the settlement limitation to ensure the construction workplace and surrounding areas safely. In terms of technical, it's concerned that there is less room for construction new stations, tunnels and platforms in Hong Kong. The only solution is to construct underground. The MTL proposed 4 steps. First, using tunnel boring machine. Next, drill and blaze, then cut and cover. Lastly, using immersed tube tunnel. The last concern would be on the environmental aspect. The construction will create air pollution, noise pollution and chemical waste. The MTL is required to propose some measures to alleviate the problems. Moreover, there are a large number of ceramic shells found in 2012. Then, archaeological works are required, which might take a few years. Therefore, it's believed that the cultural village and historical sites would affect the process of the construction. So now I pass the time to Fred to talk about the company structure. Thank you.
Thank you, Herman. My name is Chupan Fai. In the following section, I will talk about the project stakeholder structure and cover the role and responsibility in the second part. You may take a look on the graph in the right-hand side, which shows the overall stakeholder structure. The Hong Kong government offers funds to the construction of SCL and entrusted MTLCL to carry out the project. And EAT and IAP are the third-party audit team hired by the government to monitor the progress and review any irregularities. And different government departments have to monitor the project progress and report the latest information to the Transport Housing Bureau, while the construction team and quality team of the MTLCL are responsible for the construction work of SCL project and review the construction work quality respectively. For the Highway Department role and responsibility, they have to hold monthly project coordination meeting and project progress meeting with the MTLCL and conduct inspection audit. And 2 consultants companies are hired by the Highway Department. They are M&V and PSC. Project Supervision Committee, PSC, mainly responsible for the procurement activities, post-tender cost control, resolution and contractual claim. And monitoring and verification M&V is assisting the monitoring work and conduct the regular audit. For the expert advisor team is formed by the Transport Housing Bureau and 3 senior retired government officers and deployed from the Highway Department, Building Department, and Civil Engineering and Development Department. And they have to provide the technical support and review the latest progress of the SCL project. Their major responsibility is reviewing of the work performed by the related stakeholder and propose the improvement of the existing project integrated management system of the MTRCL. For the independent audit panel, IAP, they are responsible for the auditing the project improvement plan and progress of the implementation by submitting the report. The key role of the MTRCL is managing and monitoring the project as well as submit the monthly progress report to the Highway Department. Here comes to the responsibility of MTRCL project team, and quality team assurance team have been covered before, while the SCL construction team is divided into civil and electrical engineering section, and the team structure will also be sent to you later. Here's the team structure of the civil section. As you can see that it is matrix informed with different functional group of project and managed by the NIP project manager. There are 2 important projects have to conclude. The first one is North South Line NSL and the East West Line EWL. NSL is covering the construction connecting Hong Kong Station and MOT Station, while the EWL involves several station modification of the Mount San Line. Then it shows the team structure of E&E section. It also matrix informed, and the most important projects would be the rolling stock and signaling. Rolling stock refers to a train and manager responsible for procurement and modification of new rolling stock, and the manager of signaling work for a number of signaling systems for the SCL Phase 1 and 2 extension. Then I will pass to my groupmates to talk about the project plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred, and I'm Carrick. Now I would like to introduce the Shatin-Central link project Gantt chart. This Gantt chart shows the milestones, tasks, and targets of the SCL project. Before the project construction commenced, there are several milestones have been achieved. For example, the MTR and the KCL cooperate merge the SCL project plan. Now, we'll start from the left-hand side of the chart first. The chart sets the starting date on the 22nd of June 2012, which is the SCL construction commence date, starting from 2012 to 2022. The blue column presents the project milestones. Pink column lists out some station concourse modification tasks. Green column presents the major tasks including some of the civil and E&M construction in the SCL project. And finally, the purple column is the targets of the whole SCL commencement date. Now we'll turn to the right-hand side of the chart. One small cells represent a quarter of the year. Therefore, 4 small cells represent a year. Yellow cells are the estimated duration of the task, and red cells are the actual duration of the task. It can seem that some of the tasks that the actual working period is longer than expected. Therefore, it is also one of the indications that can be seen the SCL project has been delayed. The commencement date of the SCL project also is affected. Now, I would like to pass the time to Macy to talk about the risks of the SCL project and provide solutions. Thank you.
Thank you to my teammate. This is Macy, and I will introduce our risk analysis. Knowing that the infrastructure of Central Shatin Line is a magnificent project that involves plenty of parties and it requires years to complete the project. During the period, surely there are possibilities for us to face different levels of difficulties from various dimensions, including factors from internal, external, and environmental. The first part of the risk matrix is purchasing. Referring to the cost inflation on construction materials, it is possible to double the cost in 5 years. With no doubt, the most affected impact is the monetary concern. However, here are some existing and potential safeguards, such as make a detailed cost plan, then monitor the schedule strictly, reserving enough extra budget, and seeking alternative source of material are also important. Moreover, hedge could be done if possible. Here, there is a high chance to happen and directly affect the project. As a result, it is decided to classify the risk to 4C and belonging to the class of medium. Second, excavation is a factor mainly related to environment. Sinking for buildings nearby is the first expected risk. This will highly affect the project schedule. Luckily, here are some actions to handle, such as having a reasonable indicator and a clear guideline of project suspension, submitting reports after regular inspection on the buildings nearby each half year, etc. Then the potential damage to archaeological works or bumps under the ground is a concern. Dealing with such cases, we can establish a let community and scan the area with a metal detector before excavation. MTR actually cooperate with police. The EODB team generally 2.1 and 2.2 are 3B and 4D risks correspondingly, with some frequency but relatively high consequences. The medium risk class deserve our attention. Now comes to the construction part. There are three major hazards. First one is temporary suspension due to engineer fault, bad weather, and also workplace accidents. The highest risk and impact is credited to the engineering fluid, which is tend to be unacceptable. Although there are some safeguards, but it still cannot guarantee every on the right track day by day without any mistakes. Perhaps those engineering fluid are highly related to the public safety. Once there are problems found, it usually takes high effort to recover. The solution to the bad weather would be much more easier and softer. Barely follow the instruction, like setting up enough sandbags before raining, consolidating the built scaffold before typhoon. Then the workplace injuries is the last concern. Buying insurance is a basic. However, employing safety officer and using personal protecting equipment are also indispensable. The fourth activity is to renew the signal system. The project performance is definitely sensitive to the accuracy of the signal. To be specific, choosing the right and experienced vendor is important, and testing the simulated signal system before implementing and after each changes is also needed. Apart from the monitoring the signal programming logic, state the operation steps clearly for the workers and provide essential training course for the controllers at taking value. After the measurement, it is believed that the risk class is medium as the initial rate is 3B. The consequence is relatively, but this could be solved. The major loss is barely the time. Last but not least, as the project of Central Southern Link is produced by the government, MTR, and more external partners such as Legion Asia, this activity is referring to the risks incurred by piloting. Pilots may have misconduct and human error regarding professionalism. For example, cutting corners, cheating, and even hiding facts. All the results turn out will extremely affect the cost, schedule, and performance. In the worst cases, the government may lose control, and until issues are revealed by media, we define the risk class as high, and its consequence is too large. Therefore, some safeguard are wise. For instance, all details needed to be stated on the contract in black and white clearly, and management should assign responsibility before every decision, while recording each class and require side off as the project organizer. Government and MTR should send their own professionalism to supervise and check the performance of the partner. Once there are actions violating the contract intentionally, compensation is a must too. Just for your information, as the screen showing the timeline described major incidents that MTR are facing in reality, therefore prevention is always better than cure. Thank you, and I will pass the time to my teammate discussing the financial aspect.
Thank you, Macy. This is the major task cost estimation table. We pick up some of the important civil and electrical and mechanical service contracts of the SCL project for reference, and it already lists out on the Gantt chart. In this table, its total cost 38.26 billion Hong Kong dollars. Every project contains direct and indirect costs, the same as the SCL projects. All the civils and E&M construction contracts are the indirect costs of the projects. It includes tunnel constructions, signal system, station constructions, new train purchase, etc. On the other hand, the indirect cost of the SCL project includes minor constructions and reprovisions of all facilities affected by the SCL projects and its construction work, for example, the Hinton Playground. According to the MTL website and the Legislative Council documents, the SCL project includes 28 civil and 30 E&M contracts. It costs 43 billion and 13.9 billion Hong Kong dollars respectively. In total, it costs 57.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. All the subcontracts accounted for around 60% of the whole SCL project budget. Although the MTLC already complete the risk management and reserve costs for contingency, there are lots of unforeseeable situations and factors that happen under the project. For example, the archaeological discovery. To take the appropriate measure, extra time and manpower are required to conduct the survey. It leads to a higher expenditure and cost. Moreover, the foundation and excavation works may come across a larger amount or more complicated obstructions. Hence, the constructor may require using more types of equipment and construction methods to cope with different situations. With extra costs needed, contractors may submit claims to MTL. The MTLC will examine the claims and assess the amount with different factors. Until 30th of June 2020, 1,088 substantiated claims received by the MTLC, and 467 cases were resolved. It total cost 2,200 million Hong Kong dollars, about 3.83% of the awarded contract sum. To conclude, well project planning benefits the project working process. After the whole SCL project plan and train operation commence, it benefits the Hong Kong public transport system, which provides more routes for the public. However, the SCL project involves different districts and area. Careful consideration and planning should be made to ensure the construction process running smooth. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you.